All right, you guys. Today you're going to be working on part of your areas of development summative. And obviously, our first area that we're going to be looking at is the physical development or building motor skills. So you got a bunch of papers from Miss Paquette, and we're going to start with the one that looks like this with activities to build motor skills. This is giving you a really brief what I'm kind of expecting of you. But basically what you're going to do is you're going to either come up with on your own, you can Google search, you can go on Pinterest, but you're going to find activities. Activities might be games, they might be songs, they might be some sort of craft activity, but you're going to find something that would help to build motor skills in our preschoolers. We want to find one activity that helps to build gross motor skills and one activity that helps to build fine motor skills. Your third activity can help either one of those, or it can help with both of them. On this sheet, I have kind of the template with a little bit of directions for you, but the one that you're going to need, you can find on my website. It's down here, the Physical Development Activity Plan. And what you'll do is you'll make a copy of this. Make sure to change the name to be our block and our day, then your first name, the initial of your last name, and then just physical activity plan. Now you're going to be doing 3 different activities. There are 3 templates, even though it only looks like one. I just did page breaks in between to keep it a little bit neater. So make sure that you're scrolling down, and then that's how you'll find all 3 of the templates that you actually need to have. So to kind of let you know what we're going to be looking for, I'm going to head back to this packet that you all have. So in the teacher spot, you guys are going to be our teachers. So you're just going to put your first and last name. And then the activity that you have found and that you're filling out the table for, which age, 3, 4, or 5, do you feel like that is most suited for? Now, all of your activities do not need to be suited for the same age group. You can do one of them for 3-year-olds, one of them for 5-year-olds, and then another one for 3. It doesn't really matter for that. Then we've got the name of the activity, potential themes. So what are some topics that a preschool teacher could be talking about where the activity you found could kind of slide into there? Then under our directions, this is kind of like a sub-plan, I guess, but your directions need to be thorough and easy enough to follow where a completely random person could pick up this document, read your directions, and then plan out and do the activity that you have found. If you chose a song that has like actions to it for your activity, make sure that you include the lyrics and you put in there and explain this is what the actions are so that we can really see that this is how your motor skills or your physical development has been helped. Then what materials will be needed to accomplish this activity? If there aren't any materials needed, just write none. Is there any prep work that the teacher would need to do before doing the activity? So do they need to cut something out? Do they need to lay down paper so that paint doesn't get all over the table? What would they need to do before the students get into the classroom? Just like with our materials, if they don't need to do anything, make sure to write none. Then these final spots in this box right here of what motor skills are being practiced, this is where you're going to list if it's gross or fine motor skills and then explaining why you thought it was gross or why you thought it was fine. And then if it is a gross motor skill, you're going to list which subcategory. So is it locomotor, where we're moving our body from point A to point B? Is it non-locomotor? So we're just kind of moving our body in place, so spinning, pivoting, twirling. Or is it manipulative? So we're using our gross motor skills to move an object, like throwing a ball or kicking a ball. This spot right here is going to be new to you. So what I want you to kind of take a look at now is this sheet where it is titled Wisconsin Model Early Learning Standards. If you're ever going to work in a child care center, they're typically going to have you do a lesson plan and you need to tie your activities to standards. So what this sheet is here, it's just kind of like a little cheat sheet for you. So we have 5 main categories. We're going to be focusing today on our health and physical development, and then we'll deal with the rest of them as we go through our areas of development. But then on the back side, this just kind of spells out all of the things, I guess, that you're going to find in our standards document. The 3 with stars, those are the 3 that we're going to focus on. So our developmental domains, those are our main categories. If we look at them, they're really similar to our areas of development. And then our subdomains, so those are kind of those mini categories that we're going to take a look at. And then performance standards, and that's going to give you very specifics about this is what we want children to be able to do. For accessing our standards, if you are more of a hard copy person, up on the black bookshelf, I have a bunch of printed copies of our standards. You are more than welcome to use those, but kind of treat them like our textbooks, so please don't write in them, highlight. Please don't take them out of the classroom, anything like that. If you are more of an electronic copy, on my website, if you go to the Child Development 3 to 5, go down to Wisconsin Model Early Learning Standards, that will take you to the document. It's a pretty hefty document, 141 pages, so it might take a little bit of time to load up for you. Don't worry, we are not going to be reading all 141 pages. You can scroll past a lot of these, and now you'll notice a page that looks kind of familiar. And these will sort of help you out, like, hey, I want to know more about motor development, so I need to scroll down to page 20 for things. So you can either scroll and read through and find a bunch of stuff, or if you do Control F, you'll get this little search bar up at the top. And again, this might take a little bit of time because we have a 141 page document, but if I want to look up motor, I can type it in, and we can see that right here, there are 24 times in this document that motor has been used, and it highlights it for me right here. Now, this isn't super helpful to me, so I'm going to click these arrows, and it'll keep moving you on to the next time that you see motor. So this might be a tool that you can use to help you navigate this kind of hefty document anyway. So if we go back to your packet and we're looking at our developmental domain. So right now, that's going to be, like right here, I have the developmental domain is health and physical development. Then developmental expectations, that's going to be your A, B, or C. So B, we're at motor development. Now you're going to read through at these performance standards, and you're going to see the activity that you picked. Does it fit into any of these? It really should. If it doesn't fit into any of these, then you need to look at finding a different activity, because remember, we really want to help children kind of grow and become better functioning adults, I guess. So there's kind of our little outline for them. And then I did include an example for you. So I did the wonderful game of pull toes. If you've never played pull toes, you can look at my directions and now you kind of see what it is. But it's a game like tag, but you take off your shoes and your socks, you turn off the lights, somebody's it, and you're all crawling around on all fours and you pull toes to tag. So with that game, some potential themes that we could do this on, or topics that we might be talking about, is thunderstorms. Now, if I just wrote thunderstorms, most people would be wondering, like, Mrs. Hahn, how does playing pull toes tie into that? So that's why I added kind of a leading question. We could talk about what are things that you do when it's storming outside so that you're not scared, because our age group can get really scared during the thunderstorm time. And so if we're playing a game like pull toes, that might take their mind off of the thunderstorms and all the rain and the lightning that's happening. A little more obvious one would be body parts. So we're talking about toes. Let's play a fun game that uses toes. So yeah, I've got my directions. No materials are needed because it's just body parts. Then again, we don't really need to do any prep. Possibly we want to make sure that the floor is clean. And if we're doing this in a place that has like sharp corners to things, maybe covering those with pool noodles. But then you can just see I explained how gross motor skills are being used. While playing pull toes, we're using locomotor and non-locomotor. So again, I explained that. Here are my standards that are being covered, all of that good stuff. The last page of this document is your rubric, just so that you know exactly what it is that you're looking for.